This song is very simple, and it says, now that I'm here with you, my heart I gladly lay before you. My wounds, my tears, my pain. With confidence, O Lord, down at your feet. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Can anybody help me say that? Let it ring, say it. Please receive my praise. Thank you. Thank you for your praise. So often I felt like the best that I had to give has fallen short so often. Has fallen short so often. Without your love, your touch, I never would have survived. I sing hallelujah, hallelujah. Lord, I sing hallelujah.
You are listening to Bitter Cup Media, where inspired, controversial conversation matters. Your broadcast will begin in less than 2 minutes. We thank you for joining, and remember, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another.
Though he slay me, yet will I trust him. I'll trust in the Lord. Though talked about and misunderstood. Yes, I've been lied on. But still, we've been made. Endure for a night. But I'm glad. I still enjoy. After all, I still have my joy. Everybody say, oh. This joy the world didn't give it to you. This joy the world can't take it away. Say, hey. Have your hands up. Here we go. After all that I've been through. Still joy. Hey, still. I still have joy. Still. I still have joy.
It's your boy G Morris hailing from deep East Oakland, and you listening to Bitter Cup Media.
Because the nighttime is the right time to have inspiring, controversial conversations that matter. It's time for Issues After Dark with your hosts, Donna Williams and Dion Evans. Issues After Dark is a deeper dive into today's breaking news, trending social media, and pop culture from a biblical perspective. Gather your thoughts, get your questions ready. Your hosts, Donna and Dion, will be taking your calls via the Bitter Cup Media Zoom line, as well as interacting with your social media commentary regarding today's topics. And now, Issues After Dark with Donna Williams and Dion Evans.
Oh, yes. It's Tuesday. We can't tell you the social media moniker for Tuesday. That's beyond our rating. So we have to leave that there. Donna Williams, Dion Evans, the show Issues After Dark. Donna, how you doing tonight?
I am doing well, Dion. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm real good. I had a great nap. I had a nap that made me think we already did the show.
That was a good nap.
And I'm talking about I was gone. I was waking up like I was thinking about the show last night, and what did we talked about? And I'm like, wait a minute, how come I'm not pulling up any memory? And then it dawns on me, bro, you're not up. You just took a nap. That's all you did. Oh, it was good.
What? See, that's kind of where you wake up and you don't know where you are.
No,
where am I?
You don't know where you are, and settled with laying there in that mystery.
Right.
It was wild.
Right. Right.
All right, let's give the folks what we're talking about today, and then we'll get to what was interesting about our day. Segment number 1, mass shootings. Are you numb? I got a lot to say, Donna. I went and I'm glad that Wikipedia chronicles mass shootings. We are on the 24th day of 2023, and I counted 43 mass shootings that have taken place in this country. And there are some right around us, Donna, that I didn't even know happened.
What?
Didn't see any press on them. So that's what we're going to talk about in segment number 1, mass shootings. In California, we've had back-to-back mass shootings.
Yeah.
And these mass shootings are not your average mass shootings. The villain is very different than what we're used to.
Right.
And that's something we cannot allow to catch on. So mass shootings, are you numb? That's segment number 1. Segment number 2, Doomsday Clock. 90 seconds until midnight. Now, I don't want to offend anybody, Donna.
Yes.
But if you believe in the Doomsday Clock, I got some beachfront property in Colorado I'd like to sell you.
Yeah.
Online. I was reading this article and I'm wondering, I'm like, is this real? You mean there are people who are really sitting up and putting together belief systems on when the world
will end?
Is going to end?
Mm-hmm.
We can't even predict earthquakes. We're getting better at it. Technology is getting better, by the way.
Yeah.
But you can't predict earthquakes, and we'll wait.
Yep.
Doomsday Clock. And I guess we could juxtapose alongside Doomsday Clock are, these ministries that have had people holed up in their church, believing that, this is the last weekend of life. It's happened several times. Segment number 3. Segment number 3, I know I am bound to make some people who look like me mad.
Oh, gosh.
AP African American Studies. What is it exactly? I mean, I get it. When I hear AP African American Studies, that sounds phenomenal to me. Being a graduate of San Francisco State University with a degree in Black Studies, San Francisco State University is the Mecca. It is the alpha chapter of Black Studies. It is the first place you could get a degree in studying yourself.
It's where it all started.
But I am not sure what it is in Florida. And I get it. I get it. If you don't like Ron DeSantis, the governor, I get it. You don't have to like him. But what if he's right? What if he's actually right? Because here's my thing. I haven't found anybody, I haven't found any site that can show me what is the curriculum. What is it? Don't just tell me we have this curriculum and he's got no. Tell me what is it? Because Donna, things are starting to leak as to why they reject this curriculum. And I'm looking at the things that they're saying is potentially in the curriculum, and I'm saying, are y'all trying to slide stuff into the public schools using African American studies as the excuse? Nah, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't go for that. Someone talk about it. AP African American Studies. What is it exactly? And then here's my other thing: for people who are so in love with AP African American Studies, who's teaching it? Can Karen?
Good question.
Can Karen, who dates, Junebug? Can Karen, who's in love with Junie, can she teach it? I'm just interested. Can the guy, what's the dude's name on Abbott Elementary? The guy
I can't remember
who's
his name.
always acting like he's woke. The white guy. Can he teach it? See, one of the things about San Francisco State University and African American Studies is it was the teachers.
Did you have the Harris?
Who?
Nathan Hare. Nathan
Had his
Hare,
wife.
what's his name? Nathan. You had his wife.
Had his wife.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Laura
bring it.
Head.
Wow.
Yep. Laura Head was my first Black Studies teacher. Black psychology. I never heard a Black teacher talk to white kids the way she talked to white kids.
Well,
I was actually wondering what was white kids doing in the class, but I had never seen a Black teacher talk to white kids like that in my life. Shocked my system and changed me for the better.
change you.
Believe that. That's when I began to get the slave out of me. And that's why I say now I got the slave out of me a long time ago. That was back in what, 1989, 88. Yeah. All right, Donna. So those are our things. For segment 1, mass shootings. Are you numb? Segment 2, doomsday clock, 90 seconds until midnight. Segment number 3, AP African American Studies. What is it exactly? Exactly. What's the best thing happened to you today, Donna?
The best thing that happened to me today is that I decided to cook. So I had a homemade meal. I'm not.
What did you cook? I gotta now interview you on your culinary.
I can cook. I
no, I know you can. I just want to know, what did you cook?
I had salmon though. I had salmon and mixed vegetables.
That sounds like a Letitia.
I did this. I did the salmon.
That's not when you said that, my heart just
in the air fryer. No, but I had it in the air fryer.
That's even worse because she's now just started doing all this air frying. So I don't like the smell of an air fryer. Look, just fry mine. I don't like. I mean, my son used the air fryer for pot stickers and all kind of stuff, and I'm like, why does it smell like that?
I didn't know it had a smell.
Yeah. Letitia did some fish in an air fryer. It did not. It was salmon. It didn't go well. It didn't go well. Not for me. See, for me, my salmon can't be wet. It's got to be dry. It can look wet, but it got to be dry.
Mine was wet. I mean, dry. Mine was dry.
Oh. And then you had mixed vegetables?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm trying to do better. In this season of life, I'm trying to get up every morning feeling good and taking care of what's left of this.
I was hoping you did some creamy corn so I can use that as leverage on Letitia to make me creamy corn. You sitting up here making the same meal. You make the exact same meal she would make.
I make creamy corn though. I just haven't made it in a while. We used to call it fried corn at home.
Really?
Fried corn, yeah.
Well, did you actually make? You shucked it off the?
Yeah, cut it off the cob.
I'll take it out the can. I'm good.
Well,
with
I do it out the can
corn.
now. Oh, you did? Oh, you mean already prepared cream corn
in the can? Just warm that sucker up. Let's go.
Yeah.
Letitia won't make it for me. She said too much sugar.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore. I make it. If I make it, I do it from scratch.
Uh-oh. So we can pay for some creamy corn. I tell Letitia, look, I want creamy corn, and if you don't want to give it to me out of the can, then Venmo Donna some money, and then go pick it up and bring it home.
Gabby asked you, are there any leftovers? Unfortunately not, Gabby. I just cooked it for one.
Shoot. Salmon is expensive. It looks beautiful though when you buy it in Costco.
Oh my gosh. It is expensive. Everything's expensive though. When's the last time we talked about the eggs before, right? Earlier.
Yeah.
About what eggs are costing right now?
Eggs have got people stressed out.
Yep.
People who don't even really eat eggs are stressed out.
Yeah,
eggs right now are costing more than chicken. I can get some rotisserie chicken at Costco for less than eggs. It's crazy.
Rotisserie, but if you got rotisserie chicken, should there be chicken somewhere laying eggs? Otherwise,
I like you had a bunch of chickens die, but you still had some that was alive.
Right.
Did you collect the eggs before you made the rotisserie?
Who knows? We're all going back to
encounter
gardening.
in the gym today.
Yeah.
Met a gentleman named LB. And just delightful dude, just rolled up on me, started talking, older guy. He said, "How you doing, young man?" And I said, "I'm good." He said, "Notice I called you young man?" I said, "Yeah, I did notice that." Because he had no gray.
Wow.
He had no gray.
Wow.
And his hair was twisted and all this kind of stuff. And but I didn't know, I didn't see any dye jobs. So he just, I guess he just don't gray. And he said, "You believe in God?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely." And he showed me a picture of him about a year and a half ago, dead.
Are you kidding me?
In the hospital. He was hit by a guy. He was on his motorcycle and he got hit by a guy who came into oncoming traffic. He was on his phone. He said he was on his phone. He says, "I got so close to the vehicle that I could literally see him on his phone as he hit me."
Oh,
he was dead.
Testimony time.
He said, "But the Lord wasn't done with me." I said, "Man,
come on.
You don't even know who you're talking to right now. You don't even know who you're talking to right now, brother. I'm here for this entire conversation." Highlighted my day. All right, Issues After Dark, Deanna and Donna. We'll be back after this first segment, this first song with the first segment.
I don't believe in fairy tales. I guess I've outgrown them. That doesn't mean that I don't believe that there's something bigger than me. 'Cause I've seen it in a hospital room when the doctor said sorry. There's nothing more we can do. Well, it wasn't through. I've never seen a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but I've got a promise I can hold in the middle of the struggle. God, if you said you perform, may not be how I want you to, but here's what I'll do. I'm gonna wait on you. I'm gonna wait on you. I've tasted your goodness. I'm trusting your promise. I'm gonna wait on you. Yes, I'm gonna wait on you. I've tasted your goodness. I'm trusting your promise. I'm gonna wait on you. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. I will. I know you are every step. Yes, you are the author. There's no predicting what is next. For the future. And all the questions, they come second to the one I know is true, yeah. Well, you've always been true, so I'm gonna wait on you, yeah. So I'm gonna wait on you. I'm tasting your goodness, trusting your promise. I'm gonna wait on you, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna wait on Jesus. I'm tasting your goodness, I'm trusting your promise. I'm gonna wait on you. Cry, Jesus, not me, 'cause I throw hands. God, Jesus, please don't try me, because I fight.
It's Issues After Dark with Donna Williams and Dion Evans. Yeah, let's get into it, Donna.
Okay.
Wikipedia is not the most reliable place.
No.
Because you're oftentimes dealing with people who are, trying to get stuff up, and then you got to make sure the fact checkers go. But there's one thing I found very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. They list all of the mass shootings that took place. It's like a collection spot, right?
Yeah.
Did you know that there was a mass shooting? There were one. Today's the 24th, right?
Yep.
There were 2 mass shootings today.
Today?
One in Yakima, Washington, where 4 are dead, and one in Red Springs, North Carolina, 3 are dead.
Wow.
Yeah. In Yakima, Washington, I'm looking here. The gunman killed 3 people at a Circle K before carjacking a vehicle and fleeing the scene. He shot and killed himself during a standoff with police at his home. In Red Springs, North Carolina, 3 are dead, 1 injured. 3 people were killed and 1 person critically injured in a shooting. And yesterday you had it in Oakland. Yesterday you had Oakland and Half Moon Bay, and Chicago, Illinois, Dodge City, Kansas. Now, we heard about Oakland and we heard about Half Moon Bay.
Yeah.
But did you hear about Illinois?
No.
There were 2. 2 killed, 3 shot for a total of 5. Dodge City, Kansas, 1 killed, 5 shot for a total of 6. Suspect opened fire at deputies, shooting 3 deputies and a woman before being shot and killed in a shootout with police. That was yesterday in Dodge City, Kansas. Are we numb? And I hear the talking points of the politicians. The Democrats are blaming the Republicans. If the Republicans would just do something, if they would just meet us. And I'm like, how? From a political perspective, Donna, help me out. I want mass shootings to stop.
Right.
But what law can you pass that's going to stop mass shootings?
I said you cannot legislate human behavior. You can put the rules in place, but that does not change the behavior of the individual if they make a decision.
No.
So,
I mean, even if you put in legislation, the mentally ill cannot have guns. That's legally. So mentally ill. So what do you think, Donna, is the danger of passing a law that says mentally ill people cannot own guns? Because I see a glaring argument.
Mentally cannot own guns, but then my mind goes back, well, okay, I cannot purchase it legally, but I'll get it another way.
Yeah.
I'll figure out another way to get it and to create whatever havoc I am planning to create. So listen, do you think that maybe they do, but the confirmed bad guy, criminal, whatever, is going to the gun store and going through the process of buying a gun legally in order to use it in a crime? No, they're not.
Well, the last 2 shootings, one in Monterey Park and the one in Half Moon Bay, those were legally purchased guns.
They were legally purchased, but their reason, I don't know their mental state, but every time there's a mass shooting, there's a mental health issue going on here. There's a mental health issue. How is it that a person that's having mental health issues can plot exactly what they're going to do up to the time that they do it?
Right. And have complete consciousness. Look. See, yes. Did you see the video of the man in Half Moon Bay, the Asian man? I think he was 60 something, who killed those people. He now they call it a mass shooting, but literally he went to 2 different locations and shot multiple people. I believe he ultimately killed 7. Let me back up.
It was 7.
Was it 7? It was 7 people killed in Half Moon Bay. Yes, 7 killed, 1 shot, 8 total people shot. But he went to 2 different locations and shot up 2 different groups of people, right? But then we see this video of him being arrested, right? My assumption was police got to the scene, saw him there, cornered him. Maybe he ran a little bit, but he threw his weapon away. They was able to corner him, pull their weapons on him, and then they wrestled him to the ground. He got less severe battery than most black men get in traffic stops with no weapons at all.
Right.
But what I did not know until this morning, do you know where they arrested him?
Where?
At the police station.
He was turning himself in?
He was turning himself in.
But he has mental health issues.
So here's my point, Donna. When they say we got to keep guns out of the hands of those who are not mentally healthy.
Yeah.
Well, who is walking around claiming to be mentally unhealthy, or who will walk around and agree with being mentally unstable if it puts you in a position that you cannot own what the rest of the country can own?
Right. You're not.
Or are we going to see the rise of government labeling people mentally ill and using that as a way of stripping rights from people?
So who's going to determine what's going to be the measurement for what the mental state is? Where's the line of demarcation where now you've crossed the line, you can't purchase a gun?
I don't know.
You can't.
These type
problematic.
This type of criteria will have to be created.
Yeah. And that's problematic.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I don't think we know what mentally ill is.
No, we don't know.
Are you telling me that sane people can hunt animals? If you kill multiple animals, oh, you're sane and you're healthy. You're just a good American hunter. But if you shoot and kill people, it's mental health.
But listen at this. If you are a hunter, there are limitations on how many animals you can kill in season and out of season. With human beings, there's no season. And the rules.
That's interesting that you say that, because as soon as you said in hunting season, there's a limit. Then I'm thinking, why do they have to set limits? What happens
because
if
otherwise they would keep killing.
If you didn't set limits, they would just
keep killing.
Wow.
Yep. Keep killing.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm looking, Donna, there's I'm looking at this list, and I don't want to say I don't care, because I do, but it's just like another story. I mean, I said I've been following mass shootings since the very first high school mass shooting in Columbine.
Yeah, Columbine. Yeah.
And if you go back and look at the documentary Bowling for Columbine, and you see all of the experts then and what they felt needed to be done moving towards the future, none of that stuff works. Did you know on January 6th, there was a mass shooting in San Francisco? 4 people were shot, 1 fatally near a police station in the Mission District.
No.
Let's keep going. Let's see what else. Because I'm blown away by the amount of mass shootings that I didn't even know. There's 43 of them. And there might be more, because I don't remember seeing this one from Red Springs, North Carolina earlier today. We're 24 days in And at around 1 o'clock this 1 o'clock this afternoon, 43 mass shootings. So I want to, for those of you who are listening, hit us up in the comments. Tell us what do you think it takes to stop mass shootings? Donna, your thoughts. What will it take? Is it even possible?
I don't think it's possible. If someone gets it in their mind they're going to do this, then they're going to do it. It's kind of like the domestic violence where the partner kills the partner. Restraining orders, change of where you live. Right. If a person is determined to do a thing, nothing will stop them. And certainly the laws don't matter because they don't care about the law. They care about accomplishing whatever their mission is.
Right. Right.
So it's not going. You can put the laws on the books, and the law-abiding people will abide by it. But once a person thinks that they have the right to do whatever it is they choose to do, you can't stop them.
What do you think? What do you think about sound bites like from the NRA, where they use these mass shootings to preach everybody needs to own a gun?
Oh Lord.
I don't know what it's like to own a gun in my house. The older I get, the more I'm kind of like, maybe we should have a gun in the house. But I'm not going to the right. Look, what is the use of having a gun in the house if when I need to use it, I don't know how to use it?
You don't know how to use it. You'd have to go to the shooting range.
Right. And I'm not. What shooting range? Are there any shooting ranges nearby us? I know there are no gun. There are no gun stores in Oakland, and there have been no gun stores in Oakland for over 20 years. And yet they found several guns and ghost guns at the Valero gas station.
How about that? I have visited Texas quite a bit in the last year. And the first time I walked into a mall and it had a sign up, firearms prohibited, because people carry guns in that state. There are gun stores everywhere. And I don't know if they're an open carry state or not. I cannot remember. But just the signs everywhere in restaurants and in the mall and firearms prohibited. You don't see that out here because that's not a thing out here. But people still own guns. They still own guns. I would imagine
we're still dealing with the phenomenon of ghost guns. I used to hear that phrase. And I didn't really know what it meant. Ghost guns. What are ghost guns? Untraceable guns. What, they just sawing off? They taking off the serial numbers? No, they're literally 3D printer making these guns.
Yeah.
So wait, you mean to tell me our technology has gotten so great that I can make a Glock 9 that will fire real bullets, a semi-automatic weapon.
Yeah.
And literally commit crime and leave a gun sitting there knowing nobody can trace it.
You can trace it. And think about the mind that created that.
I know.
That came up. See, so that tells you can't stop people. Their minds are already set in that direction.
Let me tell you something.
Why would you need a ghost gun?
Let me tell you something that might blow your mind.
What?
What company makes toy guns?
Do companies still make toy guns?
Toy companies never made guns. Toy guns were always made by real gun makers.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, I'm not kidding you.
What?
Toy guns have always been made by real gun makers. My mother never let me play with guns.
Yeah.
My son, they have these guns now that, they look like, they look like toys. It's not a gun that's look like a Glock 9. He just got an orange nozzle that he could take that nozzle off, and now all of a sudden you can't tell it's a gun. These little water guns and all that kind of things. They have automatic, Donna, watch this, automatic water guns. And I saw a group of kids in the park. They had these automatic. They were playing war games out there. They were doing like tactical things, hiding behind trash can, raising up, shooting at somebody, coming back down. I mean, it was like a war, right? And I said to myself, I remember when I was fresh in college, I think it was New York. Remember that police officer saw that he didn't know there was a little boy. He was chasing a suspect, and there was a little boy in the apartment complex, and he was playing in the stairwell with his toy gun, and all the police officer saw was the shadow of what appeared to be a man pointing a gun, and then he fires in there, killing a little boy, and then he realizes that was a little boy playing with a toy gun. One of the greatest tragedies in America.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I don't let I said, if you're going to play with a toy gun, you're going to play with it outside in the back.
Yeah.
Because I can't take the risk of you playing with something like that in the front yard, because what if somebody doesn't know what it is? What if somebody misunderstands what it is? And so the real toy guns that are built like real guns, they can deceive.
But think about this. There was a time I can remember my brother having toy guns, getting toy guns for Christmas, looking like, the guns on the
Cowboys and Indians.
And the cap guns and the BB guns, and playing outside, going to the parks and playing with them and everything, without a thought that this is a potential, makes me a potential target. But things have changed down through the years. And so the policemen are more on edge about guns, because you don't know who has a gun and who might have you in their sights.
Let me ask you
People
this question.
People are on edge. Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this question, Donna.
Mm-hmm.
Could it be that people who are sane mentally, once they own a gun, start losing some of their sanity?
I think they'd be.
Can I be honest? Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I would never want a gun in my house because I can see us having an argument in the house and somebody just go grab the gun just to.
Yeah.
They don't mean nothing by it. But immaturity in an argument can cause you to do some stupid stuff. You would never think about doing. All my life being married, I ain't never ran into the kitchen to get a knife.
Right.
Letitia's never ran in the kitchen to get a knife.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What is it about a gun that is such a show? What does a gun do? Maybe for those, do we have any listeners who have guns? And I'm not anti-gun, but I do want mass shootings to stop. And I do not believe that you're going to stop mass shootings by taking people's guns. I don't believe that's going to happen at all. So I hear the Democrats on one hand pontificating about what they believe the Republicans' deficiency is, and I understand that the Republicans are pretty much in the pockets of the gun lobbyists. I get that, but I believe both of them are benefiting in various ways, and in the end, none of them have a policy that will actually work to stop mass shootings.
Right. They can stop people from bringing guns into the White House. So there you have it.
Speaking of the White House, Donna.
Yes.
Do you realize that there's only been one president in 13 years who has not been caught with classified documents in his home? Only one president in the last 13 years, president or vice president, has not been caught with classified documents in their home. And I guarantee you they're looking for them.
Oh, yeah, they're trying their best to find it.
Look, you can talk about Trump. You can talk about Biden. And yesterday we found out Pence. So, Trump was a big deal. He needs to lock him up. And then Biden, well, dang, we can't really yell at Trump to lock him up and not yell at Biden to lock him up. Well, now Pence got it. Oh, well, now both of them had it. Now they're looking. You know who they're looking at.
They looking at Obama.
They looking at Brother Barack.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about this angle too in these mass shootings, Donna. Typically, when we have mass shootings, these is white dudes.
Yes.
These is white dudes who are perpetrating a lot of these crimes.
Majority, yes.
Majority of them. But these last two in California, it's the Lunar New Year for the Asian community. These are older Asian men killing older Asian people. I was shocked to find out that Monterey Park's shooters and those who were killed are people like in their 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Right, who are just out to enjoy the evening.
When it ain't like some young kids got into a beef, some Asian games back and forth, and it just kind of went, 51-50. I guarantee you, in Oakland Valero at the video shoot yesterday, I guarantee you, wasn't no 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds out there shooting at each other.
Right.
Those are some young folks.
Right.
But when we're looking at, we had all this API and and stop Asian hate and all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting a lot of mixed signals. We're getting a lot of there's a lot of mixture happening. And then here's the thing. Are you telling me that these guys were mentally ill prior to? Now, maybe you need mental illness to finalize the act. Yeah. But what does that have to do with the purchase of the firearm?
You have to figure out what the trigger was. What was it that they said, I've had enough and I'm not going to take it anymore? It doesn't make sense for a 70-plus-year-old man to walk into a place where people are dancing and enjoying and start shooting people. Right. There's some why behind it that we don't know what the why is. I was looking at an article on the Half Moon Bay. Some kind of work violence was behind perhaps the shooting in Half Moon Bay. Maybe the target of bullying or whatever, but there's something that's triggering it.
I listened to the police chief report on KCBS, and they said they've apprehended him. Again, kind of hard to tell me you apprehended him when he actually shot up 2 locations, killed 7 people, shot an 8th person, drove to the police station and turned himself in the parking lot. You didn't really apprehend him. He just kind of turned himself in. He didn't want to die. And you guys treated him very nicely as to how you took him to the ground and searched him while he was on the ground. You did not beat him up. You did not, do something real terrible to him. We got to go to break. We'll be back. We got to go.
I woke up, that's enough. Look in the mirror, brush off the dust. Talk to me nice, don't interrupt. Don't need to settle, I'm on another level. Yeah, I'm done with feeling low. Don't take it personal, this life's a miracle. So I look up, we're matching up. No need to settle, I'm on another level. Yeah, cause when it's full or it's rough, I know you fill up my cup. You give me more than enough. So now I'm turning the page, don't see no other way. Ain't nothing else I can say. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new way. Sunshine on your face. Wake up, it's a new day. I'm done with feeling low. Don't take it personal. This life's a miracle. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Don't need to worry about tomorrow. He's got a plan and it is good. I mean, I know the how, but I know the who. Talk to the Lord above every day. Blessings on blessings come my way. It's in my DNA. It's a part of me. Yeah, ain't nothing else I can say. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Sunshine on your face. Wake up, it's a new day. I know you feel the low. Don't take it personal. This life's a miracle. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Don't need to worry about tomorrow. Cause only love is on my brain. And when I find myself in trouble, I just call upon his name. Talk to the Lord above every day. Blessings on blessings come my way. It's in my DNA. Yeah, part of me. Yeah. Ain't nothing else I can say. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new way. Sunshine on your face. Wake up, it's a new day. I know you feel alone. Don't take it personal. This life's a miracle. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Issues After Dark, Donna Williams and Dion Evans. Yes, Zoom line. You want to make that happen? Make that happen, Captain. That last song off here, you guys might have saw me making a bunch of facial expressions. I'm looking in the studio. There's a sofa, and my wife, who's what I call my work goat. She's my work goat. If you have a wild horse, you want to calm that horse down, you put a goat next beside.
How do you know this stuff? How do you know this stuff? I don't understand.
Family in the country. I don't even know if it's true. I'm just saying what I was raised to know growing up. So I don't know if it's true, but I'm just telling you what I was told growing up. In a wild horse, you put a goat next to it, and that's where you hear the term "somebody got your goat." Because you done lost it. Somebody got your goat. Goat calms you down.
I love these idioms.
So they're playing that song right there. Today is a new day. And I look over at my wife, and she's over there dancing like this, some hip hop dance. And then I look away, and she says, "No, look." And you can't hear because the mic is muted. And I look back over there, and she starts dancing like it's coming to, This Is America video. Childish Gambino. And I'm like, will you stop it? Just stop it. That's funny because the other day, and I found it funny that she did that dance because the other day, she was in the kitchen cooking, and I walked in. I think I didn't have a shirt on, and I did that move, in that video where he shoots the guy playing the guitar, and he reaches out, he puts his arm. I did it like that, and she fell out laughing and said, "Don't you ever do that again. Don't you ever do that again."
I love it. Yeah. I love husband-wife shenanigans.
We have a lot of shenanigans. Yes, Don, let's wrap up segment number 1 and this mass shootings. Are you numb?
Yeah.
I almost expect to hear about mass shootings. I just don't want to be in one.
Yeah.
You got mass shootings from people who are killing people that they work with. You got mass shootings of racists who are trying to start race wars. You got mass shootings of terrorists who just don't like America. I mean, we're living in a time that if you're not in a mass shooting, you ought to consider yourself blessed.
Listen, there's no place that's safe. There's no place that's safe.
No, because it's happened in churches. It's happened in remember in Australia, and what didn't happen here, but in Australia, the guy just, he came out of a building. He walked 2 blocks with an AR-15 and walked straight into a religious center for Muslims and just started. I mean, it was horrific. It was horrific.
Yeah. There's no safe place.
And then here's my final question, Donna. Are mass shootings becoming so normal that it's almost making people feel like it's a reasonable way to solve conflict?
But you're not solving conflict. You're just taking out your anger.
Well, maybe that's where the mental illness comes in, because to a person who does it, they believe there's some satisfaction to them.
Well, of course.
Charmin Robinson says it's sickening. I agree.
Yeah,
it is. But it's so sickening that I don't even know how to feel. I mean, we literally went on air knowing about what happened in Half Moon Bay, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When we got off air, that's when I found out about Oakland. And I went right to sleep. Now that happened that's not too far.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say it's down the street. It's much further than down the street, but it's in the same city. And you know what I did?
You went to sleep.
Because I'm used to it. And when I woke up this morning, you know what the first thing I did?
What? Let's look it up.
Did anybody get shot up since Oakland? And at that point, nobody. But when I checked Wikipedia today, 2 more happened today. And we didn't hear nothing about it because of the high profile natures of the ones that preceded.
Right.
So I'm not falling for the politicians who are trying to make us fight one another or make us stand with them, because ultimately I don't see anything a politician can do that can stop mass shootings.
No.
I think the only thing that can possibly stop mass shootings is prayer, and the church has not, in this lifetime, has never had a desire to pray on those levels. Never.
I'm wondering what level will the church address issues that are going on around them, that's swirling around them.
The church is probably not going to be addressing these issues until these gun violence start happening more and more inside churches.
In the churches. Mm-hmm. By people who are part of the church.
Yeah, not
necessarily the strangers.
Outside agitators, that'll be seen as Satan is coming upon us.
Right.
It would have to be by people that are already on the inside.
Right.
And you know the type of people who are most likely to do it? People who claim to be church hurt.
Yeah.
Think about it. Think about it. If I trusted you as a religious organization, as a community of faith, and I made friends and we broke bread together, and I shared in my testimony services some of the things that I've gone through, all to find out that y'all was shamming me, and you guys were, laughing at me behind my back, and you were plotting to destroy my family, or you were plotting to take my spouse, or opportunities came and I wasn't allowed to participate because you guys have nepotism, things of that nature. And now I'm cast out and being talked about on social media like as if I was never saved.
Right.
Now, if you don't have a gun, you probably just chalk that up to church hurt and you trying to pray your way through it. But if you have a gun, do you ever think about using it? Do you ever think about going up in the spot and be like, you know what? I ain't going to kill everybody, but I'm going to get the most of y'all in this room. I'm going to get y'all. Because I ain't got nothing to live for, especially for people who live for how they are viewed in that facility.
Right.
They better be careful of these ex-pastors' wives that got thrown out because he decided to be with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
She might not be coming back to visit just to be visiting. She might have been to a different type of range, different type of club.
Yeah.
I don't wish it on nobody, but I'm saying I understand it. And I don't think it has to do with mental illness. I think it has to do a lot with helplessness. It's helplessness.
The idea, and I've seen it happen with pastors' wives. I call them the fired pastors' wives, where once the announcement is made of the pulpit, the wife you see now, you will see no more. Right? That's a Donna statement.
Whoa.
And then the congregation immediately rallies around the pastor. And also, if there's a second first lady, third first lady, whatever number she is, no issue, no problem. But the first lady is cut off, isolated, forgotten.
Yeah. And I have not been secretive about my affection for pastors' wives. I have a high affection for pastors, those who are truly called. I don't have much care about the artist pastors. I don't really care about them. I just hope they don't screw people up as bad as they could. But real pastor teachers, I have a heart for, and the wives of pastors, regardless of what type of pastor they are, the wives of pastors, man, I have a big heart for, because I know, especially black pastors' wives, because they are the lowest on the totem pole of care. They are the lowest on the totem pole of care.
Yeah.
Especially when they become an ex-wife.
Someone once told me, or I heard it said, that they will never love you as much as they love your husband. And I get that, but the idea of being irritated because you're the pastor's wife. I don't understand that. I don't get that.
And it's an easy fix.
Yeah.
The pastors have to have a different level of
Speak
value.
up.
You have to have a different level of value.
Yeah.
This is why, some people I'm not a henpeck dude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that. There are guys out there and their pictures on Facebook is them and they, hell no, I'm not going to have no Facebook picture with me and my wife. Now my Twitter does, but that's because we was having a hell of a good time at Oktoberfest. And I love that picture. And it was she and I acting like we didn't even know. Well, we knew the Lord, but we was having a great time. Yeah. We was out there. It was the most anti-church environment we had been in a while. And she and I was eating brats. We was having sauerkraut and we was drinking but not drunk. And we had these big old glasses that we can barely hold. My wrist was hurting. I'm holding with two hands because my wrist done got weak as I get older. And somebody snapped a picture. I said, I like that picture because I was in real love that day. Nice. Now I'm always in love with her. But I'm not that dude who's going to be like, if I got to talk to a woman, I got to have the door open because, man, hell no. If you got to do that, you can't be pastoring. I'm sorry. You got to be more trustworthy than that. Some people are going to
you got to protect yourself, though, from the woman who comes in there with a motive.
No, you just sit on one side of the room. She sit on the other side of the room. You don't sit next to her.
No.
Some people have private matters. You can't assume every woman. If you assume every woman in your church is like that, you shouldn't be pastoring. Sorry. If you got to do that, you got to go get a deaconess so she can come. No, man, the deaconess may not be qualified to hear the conversation that this member of the church is coming to share with you.
Yeah.
Write that down. We might have to talk about that. All right, let's move on to this doomsday clock. Have y'all heard of this before?
I had. Didn't pay much attention to it, but I'd heard of it.
Now, I'm reading this article, and it's a long article, but this thing has been going on for 76 years, Donna.
Mm-hmm.
76 years. Doomsday clock has been ticking for 76 years, but it's no ordinary clock. And obviously, because I'm looking at the articles, they changed it, I guess, last night to 90 seconds to midnight. I'm like, 90 seconds? Shoot, that passed before I even found out that the article took place. So what does 90 seconds mean? What does 90 seconds mean, or what does midnight mean?
They're trying to generate a conversation about the conditions in the world today because people are moving the hands of the doomsday clock. It's not like it's connected to some destiny, some mystical destiny, and it's getting closer and closer and closer to the end of the world. But they're trying to generate conversations about climate change and nuclear war potential. And so they moved it because of the war in Ukraine. They moved it up to 90 seconds. But it could go back down. It can go
up and down.
Yeah.
Well, time doesn't do that. and I guess you're right. They're doing this to strike up conversation, and it worked because we're talking about it.
Exactly.
We're talking about it.
How to
change
on
it. Tuesday, the clock was set to 90 seconds until midnight, the closest the hour it has been, according to the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists, which created the clock in 1947. Midnight represents the moment in which we will have made Earth uninhabitable for humanity.
Who's going to be around to move it to midnight then if it's uninhabitable?
Exactly. But remember, I mean, and that was it is until deeper into this article that they say, hey, this is really just us creating a situation that causes us to have more of a conscious dialogue. And I'm like, look, you should have put that at the beginning of the article.
Right.
Because right now, what I'm reading in paragraph to paragraph, I'm scratching my head like, this makes no logical sense. And if you believe this, I got beachfront property in Colorado that I will sell you online on Venmo. I'm just...
My question is, who's having the conversation?
Huh?
Who's having the conversation? Once it goes to 90 seconds, who's sitting around a table having a conversation about changing things?
I don't, whenever you have the word atomic in the name of your organization, you're probably some brainiacs that are well beyond, but I'm common sense. And so when my common sense look at your brainiac, your brainiac's not making sense to me.
Right.
Because again, I mean, if we're just doing stuff to cause conversation, well, then you guys dunked it because we're talking about it and would not have been talking about it had you not done this move. Right. So if they said this just to get us to talking, just to get us to paying attention, just to get us to click on the article and read it, success.
Right.
They are a calculated success.
Right.
The clock isn't designed to definitively measure existential threats, but rather to spark conversation about difficult scientific topics such as climate change, according to the bulletin. Now, let me stop there. I believe climate change is real. Yeah. But I do not think that climate change is as radical of an idea as some people are purporting. You know that Greta Thunberg kid? I guess she's a young lady now.
Yeah, she should be in her close to 20 at least.
She should be close. But, you know, she just went to a coal mine. I guess that's reopening. She went there and got arrested to show, you know, her solidarity against this thing reopening. And this is like probably the most angriest kid I've ever seen in my life. And I know that she's not writing her speeches. I know that she is being told what to say, and she's very good at her delivery. She's very effective. Yeah. My concern is if she was from Africa, she would not be tolerated. If she was from Pakistan, if she was from some Islamic country, she would not be listened to. So I always find the angry white girl narrative about climate change. I always struggle with that, because though I believe in climate change, I believe the talking points for climate change at times can become reckless.
Yeah.
Can become reckless. And then you have things like this, the doomsday clock.
But look at the picture of the people in the article.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
How you want me to take this seriously, and I get it. But then I look at who's presenting this to me, and I wonder, all right, what is the why behind all of this? Mm-hmm. Behind these individuals who look like they're offspring of Albert Einstein, offspring of some genius. It's like the Wizard of Oz. Who's behind the screen working all of the mechanisms?
The levers, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what else I find interesting is I don't know if someone like me can put a lot of time in the doomsday clock theory. Because 90 seconds to midnight, I'm seeing more black people killed in less than 30 seconds in traffic stops, in their encounter with the police. Not 90 seconds. If police officers would give 90 seconds to just survey a better understanding of what's going on, do you know how many black men would still be alive in this country? Mm-hmm. You know how many families could still be celebrating the holidays together? From incident to first bullet, for most black men in this country, 90 seconds, it never gets to 90 seconds. Think about Tamir Rice. It was 3 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got out of the car and immediately shot him. Yeah. He had a toy gun. But the toy gun was made by a gun manufacturing company that makes real guns. So it looked real. And the police officer shot him because he thought it was real. Issues After Dark. Our big topic is coming up next. Oh, we're going to spend all the time on it, too.
I'm Mo Kelly. You are listening to Issues After Dark with my friends Donna and Dion.
We're all a part of God's body. Stand with me. Agree with me. We're all a part of God's body. It is His will that every need be supplied. You are important to me. I need you to survive. You are important to me. I need you to survive. Everybody look at somebody and tell them, I need you. I need you. You need me. We're all a part. We're all a part of God's body. Stand with me. Stand with me. Look at somebody, tell them, agree with me. Agree with me. We're all a part. We're all a part of God's body. It is His will. It is His will that every need be supplied. You are important to me. I need you to survive. Tell your neighbor, you are important to me. I need you to survive. This is beautiful, Lord. Let's do it one more time. Come on, open your mouth and say, I need you. I need you. Let me hear you. You need me. You need me. For we're all a part of God's body. Stand with me. Stand with me. Agree with me. Agree with me. We're all a part of God's body. It is His will. It is His will that every need be supplied. You're important to me. You are important to me. Yes, you are. I need you to survive. You are important to me. You are important to me. I need you to survive. I need you to survive. I pray for you. You pray for me. I love you. I need you to survive. I won't harm you with words from my mouth. I love you. I need you to survive. I pray for you. You pray for me. I love you. I need you to hold somebody here and tell them. I won't harm you with words from my mouth. I love you. I need you to look at somebody. I pray for you. I pray for you. You pray for me. You pray for me. I love you. I need you to survive. I won't harm you with words from my mouth. With words from my mouth. I love. I need you to survive. I need you to.
Can't hear you.
I said I want to live to survive the moment. I want to learn to crunk to this song. My mic was muted. I couldn't see the button. I couldn't see the button. Is that the dark? Donna Williams, Deion Evans.
It's no good to do the crunk if you can only do it in your chair.
No. I want to learn to do it. I want to learn but I got to do some more stretching. I was doing some squats, right?
Yeah.
And my problem with the squats is my shoulders are so stiff that that when I put my hands on the bar, it feels uncomfortable. Oh. And so when I'm going down to squat, I can squat, but then when I raise up to put the bar back on the rack, the pain from the inability to I'm not flexible in that area of the crevice of my back. I need to be more flexible there. Yeah.
There's a lot of videos that pop up on Instagram, Chinese Eastern medicine, different movements and pressure points and things to loosen this and to take care of that and to make sure this is working on it. And I think I'm going to try it just to see if I feel better without having to take a pill, to pop a pill, but to hit a pressure point or to pinpoint a part of my body that correlates to some internal organ, just to see.
Have you heard of Stretch Lab?
No.
You might. I'll send you a link. They have a $59 special for first time people coming in there. You should go do it for 1 hour, and they literally stretch your body out. Now it's expensive.
Will I be taller?
Huh?
Will I be taller? Will I be taller?
You want to be taller?
Because I think I'm shrinking. You know, they say this as you get older, then the body.
Boy, our community be coming up with some stuff, boy. I tell you, you be shrinking. You're big boned. No, your bones are the same size as everybody else.
Right, well, it's like the baby fat you carry in 30 years after the baby is born. Right?
Baby hair.
Baby fat. Oh, well, that's the thing, everybody just,
Yeah, all right. That's that dippity
dip.
That's hair in your hairline being treated small. We were talking about Bernice King about a week or two ago. Mm-hmm. She has surfaced in this conversation regarding AP African American Studies. My question for the broadcast, for those of you who are listening, and I'm not trying to offend nobody. But what is it? Not what is the concept? Because I see people, this is what the Black community cannot do. And I'm not trying to sound like an authority over the Black community, but I'm in it. And because when I walk out of my house, I'm in it no matter what. Yeah. I feel it a responsibility to host these type of conversations. Now, I am absolutely for AP African American Studies.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of questions. Before it's launched, I need to know what is in the study. Right. What is in the curriculum? Also, who is teaching the curriculum? What is their expertise in teaching the curriculum? Mm-hmm. I get it. There's a lot of reasons to see why DeSantis, the governor of Florida, I understand the skepticism, and I understand the deplorable way this man has gone about doing some things.
Right.
But what if he's right? What if he's right to reject it? And I know that people, Deion, he can't be right because he's this. I heard one of my good friends earlier today called him the Klan. I'm like, come on. I mean, let's not be petty and reckless with our words here. Let's not be exaggerating. Those of us who who are reasonable, those of us who are educated, don't have to be reckless.
Right.
When it comes to issues that must be discussed
in
the light. I am not, I don't know, this concerns me. I don't know one person who is for AP African American Studies who can tell me what's in the curriculum.
What the curriculum is. What's being taught.
They can't tell me the topics. They can't tell me nothing. But they mad at the Florida governor, and because he's the one against it, they want to be for it. And I think that is hella dangerous. It is wrong. Look, you can disagree with somebody.
Yeah.
You can disagree with somebody. You cannot like somebody.
Right.
But don't ever let your emotions about liking or disliking somebody cause you to ignore the truth.
But the thing about it is these kinds of headlines and these kinds of topics tap right into our emotions, tap into the emotions of the community, and we don't think it.
That's why they're written that way. Do you really think, let me help us out here. Do y'all really think that America is crafting headlines to bless the Black community? No way. They're not. They're writing. There is an agenda. We don't live in Walter Cronkite days. We don't live in the days where it was just the facts, ma'am. Nothing but the facts, where it was just, this is it, and you get to decide what side you want to be on. We're going to be straight down the middle. CNN is going through amazing turmoil because the owners of CNN no longer want one-sided journalism. So they've shuffled the entire broadcast, the entire system, and people are mad because they don't want positive talking points about Trump. They like, just beat him up, just beat him up, just beat him up, just beat him up. And I'm like, okay, I get that you don't like him, but do you know how dangerous it is to only listen to one side? Do you know how dangerous it is to get your news from one side and from one perspective of viewpoint?
But that's the way the news is modeled these days. If we think about Fox News, they take the other side. And I listen, and here's, I when I leave work every day, I have my radio tuned to Christian Broadcasting Network. And there is a pastor, I don't know where he is, who his total sermon, every time I turned it on, and I don't listen very long, is about how America is going to hell in a handbasket because of all of these things that are out of order. This thing, the woke generation, the people who don't like Trump, the people who are, the vaccines and COVID, and how things were set up to take away power from the church. And now suicide rates are increasing, and people are there's no hope because the church is not in place. And if you listen to that, and it's tapping into your perspective, because that's the only perspective you have.
Your prejudices.
Your prejudices.
Tapping
then
into
you're going to
your
go with
prejudices.
that. Right. Then you're going to go with that. You're going to respond to that.
But
you're
that's
going
dangerous.
To act out. It is.
Look, I believe we are intelligent beings. We don't have to agree on everything in order to agree about what is truth and what is reasonable.
Right.
But we are living in a world that wants us to take extreme sides. Well, that's dangerous, because you're never going to live in a world where you're going to be afforded the privilege to live out an extreme side. And so my concern about this AP African American Studies is the headline rejection is causing a rallying cry among African Americans who now want the curriculum to be pushed through no matter what. And my question is, hold your horses. What is the curriculum? Right. Are we trying to push it through simply because we don't like DeSantis? That's not a good enough reason. I'm sorry. And if you know anything about Black history, you know that special interest groups have hijacked Black agendas and put in those agendas ideologies that we have never forged forward.
Yeah.
Now, there's also an argument that the whole idea of Black people agreeing on anything, that's a thing of the past. Once the civil rights movement cooled down, you will be very hard pressed to find any place in history where Black people are 100% on the same page about something.
Well, at some point, as the civil rights movement cooled down, there was already factions within the civil rights movement.
Absolutely.
The young people who wanted a more hardcore stance against racism and prejudice, and they no longer saw the peaceful line of the elders as a thing, and so they began to break off into different factions before,
right,
you would say, the movement died. There was already disagreement within that group.
But here's the dynamic about the movement. The movement died and has not manifested the purpose for which it was built for African American people in this country.
Right.
But every special interest group who have tied themselves, who have tethered themselves to that movement has prospered.
To the template.
Has prospered.
Yeah. Have made great strides.
Go ahead, say it again.
That they've made great strides.
Great
using
strides.
that template of the civil rights movement. And they've done it in some groups without a specific leader to point to.
Exactly. And with less mobilized people to get it done.
Right.
And so
because they were unified.
Again, I want African Americans studies. I want it taught. Mm-hmm. However, I'm concerned why is it called Black African American? Why can't we call it Black studies? I like Black studies. I like that. It sounds stronger. African American studies sounds like coffee with milk in it. Black studies sound like straight coffee.
You know, Deanna, I never even knew there was a difference until we had affinity circles at the school, a previous school. And I was in the African American circle because I'm that group, that generation. Hey, it took us a long time to get to Black, all right? Without wanting to fight somebody because you called me Black. And a younger staff member came up and wanted to know where the Black affinity group was. I'm like, we're the Black affinity group. African American, I think I see them as synonymous. I realize not everyone sees them as synonymous. Yeah.
One is coffee with milk, and the other straight Black. Straight Black.
No chaser.
But in the world we live in, it's juxtaposed.
Yeah.
It's juxtaposed. Again, Donna, my concern is what is in the study.
Yeah.
And so I'm authoring the challenge that before we say yay or nay, before we start allowing our voice to be in the public eye, yes or no, we bear a responsibility to know what's in the curriculum.
Exactly.
And here's where I get it from. Two things historically. When I was a part of the leadership of the Oscar Grant movement, you know, remember the young man from Hayward who was shot by Johannes Mesley on the BART tracks of West Oakland? We would have these town hall meetings. The Black clergy and the Black Muslims came together, and we would have these weekly town hall meetings at Olivet Institutional Missionary Baptist Church when they were right there off of 27th, which is now an auto zone.
Yeah.
We used to have town hall meetings there. And there were so many special interest groups who would come to those meetings in the name of were friends.
Mm-hmm.
And they would want to either speak or they would want to share what they felt needed to be shared with the community to lend voice to the movement to affect change.
Yeah.
Well, we would, because we knew the game, we would vet these people. We wanted to see their pamphlets. We wanted to see what they wanted to pass out. We wanted to see what were their talking points.
Yeah.
And these people would come forward with some of the most asinine ideas. They didn't care anything about what we were really doing. They weren't really caring about the justice we were searching. They weren't really caring about the resign recall efforts of Tom Orloff, who was the DA at the time. They didn't care about none of those efforts to seek justice to get a conviction for Johannes Mesley, and we got it. First police officer to shoot somebody in the act of service to be found guilty and be sent to prison. Now, he only did 11 months, but up until that time, nobody had even done a day.
Yeah.
They would come with videos, and they would want to show smaller angles of what happened on the platform. And I remember thinking, these people are trying to take our audience and infuse their idea. They are trying to hijack what we're doing.
Yep.
And then when I was in Alameda in the public schools there, they had this thing called Lesson 9. Lesson 9 was a K through 5 lesson that if a teacher under any circumstance believed that there was bullying and the bullying surrounded something that may be LGBT related, the teacher had the right to stop all curriculum for the day, pull out Lesson 9, and talk to the children about Lesson 9. And in that lesson were books like Two Penguins that were supposed to be gay that had a rock that they were raising as a child. We're sitting up like, well, can parents opt out? The parents in Alameda, they were saying, look, if you think that's good to do, you can do it so long as we as parents are notified and we get to opt out. You know what? You know what that group, that special interest group in Alameda wanted to do?
What?
No opt-outs. We want to tell your children what we want to tell your children whenever we feel the need to tell your children. So the teacher would never have to prove that an incident took place to cause them to pull out lesson 9. They just pulled it out whenever they felt the need to pull it out and give the kids this lesson.
Wow.
Now, I know these things happen. I've been in the rooms where these things happen. My grandmother used to say, your eyes are so wide open, you can't see. And I used to think, well, if your eyes are open, you can see, but try to open your eyes wider than they already are. You'll become blurred real quick. I need to know. I say it again. I want to see AP African American Studies in schools across America. But before I'm going to endorse it, what's in the curriculum?
But see, here's the other thing that always concerns me, Dion, whenever we get into these conversations about African American studies in schools and they're going to take African American studies out of the schools. What we going to do? What are we going to do when they do that? And I'm always asking myself, how proactive have you become in pursuing the studies, not only in school, but also in taking responsibility of educating your child as well? How knowledgeable are you about African American studies that you're protesting aren't being taught in the school?
Let me tell you,
what do you know?
Most African American families don't know that they don't really want African American studies, because a lot of what they're going to teach in African American studies will not jive with your household. It isn't going to jive.
Yeah.
If we're just talking about the facts, the literal facts of things that took place, that's one thing. But that's not what this AP African American Studies is doing.
No,
they're taking a fusion of a lot of things. Now, do I believe those things have merit? Yes, but probably more apropos in the college rather than being in the high school. You remember, high school, they don't teach philosophy in high school. They don't. You know why? Because it's not concrete learning. It's very abstract. And so you want to create a base of belief. You want to create a foundation for truth for kids. And then as they get older, they can play with that. That's why you don't have philosophy taught. You're not being taught Immanuel Kant. You're not being taught any of the great philosophers of antiquity. You're not being taught any of that because they know what that will do to the foundation of truth. You'll have kids very pessimistic. The sky is purple. Why is it purple? Well, because I say it's purple. Well, it's obviously not purple because purple is not a color that the sky ever will be. Well, what are they doing now? I'm non-binary. I'm neither boy nor girl.
Exactly. Or I can decide what I am on any given day.
Because my mama said when I was born that I was neither male nor female, and when I get older, I'll be able to choose. So now I'm in the 7th grade, and I'm going to the boys' bathroom and the girls' bathroom. Because I don't know. Or maybe because I'm both. Or maybe because one's cleaner than the other. We'll be back. We got more to talk about on this.
Say everything, everything to me. Say life and breath. Don't talk to us. Everything to me. Say you're my peace. Everything to me. Say joy in sorrow. Everything to me. Say hope for tomorrow. Now y'all help us go down the list. Everybody, lift your voice real loud and say, Master! Savior! Ruler! Redeemer! He was your shelter from the rain. Shelter! When money got funny, he was your provider. When you were stuck in your mess, he was your deliverer. When you were sick in your body, he was your healer. When your parents wasn't there, he was your father. Anybody have to live without their father? Say father. You didn't make it this far, no. He was your father. Hey, glory, let's call him Savior. Let's call him Savior. Now let's lift up the name of Jesus. The one that saved your soul, what's his name? The only one that was there when it spoke clear. What's his name? When your friends turn on your back on you, he said, I'm not leaving. My grandma used to say, call him. Call him. Call him. Call
Black, my skin is black, my
It's Issues After Dark. Donna Williams, Deion Evans. We're having a spirited conversation. And you know, Donna, I hate having to take this angle.
Yeah.
But my concern is, for far too long, people have, in the guise of friendship, politicized the black community unbeknown to the black community. And I don't want to see black people used anymore. I mean, MLK Day is an important day in this country. But it seems to mean more and matter more and benefit more everybody but black people. You have AP studies for all these other ethnic groups. Right. How do you have in place, I mean, forget about what we're trying to do. How is it that in this country, you can have Hispanic studies, you can have Asian studies?
Right.
These are people who voluntarily came over here.
Right.
How do you ignore, how does the first ethnicity not be honored in this fashion?
First ethnicity created in America. First culture group.
Say that again. I want to make sure I heard that.
Group. First culture group and an ethnicity. Culture group, let me say it that way. Mm-hmm. Created, it's American born, American bred. It didn't come over with the people because that morphed into a different community.
See, now I love that you said that. Because see, most people don't understand that when you're talking about African American, you're talking about a race of people who did not exist prior to slavery.
Right.
You're talking about a people group who exists because of slavery.
Because of slavery. Right. Because they came over with different languages, everything.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand Malcolm's point. If you take African corn and you plant it in American soil, it's still African corn. Mm-hmm. And he would be right, because we're talking about vegetables. We're talking about plant life. Mm-hmm. But when you take a race of African women and you start impregnating them with the rape seed of white slave owners and slave owners' sons, those offspring that they're having become the African Americans.
Yeah.
They're not white. They'll never be accepted as white. They're the African Americans. Now you have the Africans having babies with the African Americans, all on the slave plantations, and you are creating more stock for the master, African Americans. Is that the type of history we're gonna be talking about? And here's my other question, Donna. Is AP African American Studies for black kids only? Because like I said, when I was at San Francisco State University, we had as many white kids in the class as we had black kids in the class. Mm-hmm. And I found it phenomenal that them white kids were forced to read a book called Black Psychology, where they were taught different things about the black experience that they could not have known had they not attended that class.
Right.
But what is this curriculum? I'm concerned that the politicizing and the politicians that are involved in the epicenter of all of these decisions, I'm concerned that is muttering the truth. And I'm concerned that the muttered truth is causing black people to maybe advocate for something that will ultimately be the demise and the destruction of our children. I don't know what the curriculum is. So I can't be like, man, forget the census. We need to go ahead and move forward and make this happen. No. It's a curriculum. What is in it? Whatever they put together, they put it together for an agenda. They put it together for a particular reason. And no one worth their salt should be exclaiming that it has a right to be taught while at the same time not knowing what the curriculum is.
Knowing what's being taught. And I think probably anything time something presents itself as a theme, and the thing is presenting itself is the study of African Americans in America, African American history. That's the thing you're presenting to me. So my expectation is if that's the thing you're presenting to me, then what's supporting the thing links directly to that. It is not branching away from it and coming back to it and saying, this is how it will improve life for you. It is saying, this is where we were. This is how we got to this place. This is where we go from here. If you're presenting yourself as a thing, then whatever feeders are going into that thing should be just highlighting what you said. Advanced placement, African American studies. Oh, okay. So we're going to study the history of African Americans. Are we studying ideologies that somehow circle the history of African Americans?
I get the idea that they're using African American studies to introduce some special interest ideologies that have never been thoroughly associated with the African American experience. And see, you gotta understand, we live in a black and white America. We live in a black and white America. And if white people don't like it, the belief is black people ought to love it. And that is just mentally insane. That's mentally insane. You're telling me that because DeSantis, a Republican, doesn't want it, automatically we're supposed to be fighting to want it? Because we got to stand up against the Klan? You see how we talk? You see how it makes it sounds like if you really want to be black, you got to eat chicken and watermelon. No, hell no.
Yeah.
I don't know why DeSantis said no, and no, I don't rock his politics. No, I'm not about his party. No, I'm not about him running for president. I don't care about none of that. Everything that I dislike about him will never make me right to like something simply because he don't like it. That's ridiculous. Right. That's ignorant. Maybe he's right. Think of how many situations where special interest groups have gotten involved and stirred black people all the way up.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. There is not, and you can fight me if you like, America. There is not one peaceful protest, honoring the life of somebody black who was taken by the police. There is not one peaceful protest that later on, as it gets dark, turns violent. And now there's looting and rioting.
Right.
The peaceful protest was done by black people who care.
Right.
The rioting that happens later, special interest groups.
Yeah.
And in those special interest groups, Donna, they include black people who have a white supremacist mindset. So they'll come out to the peaceful protest, and as it starts to get dark, we saw this happen in Oakland. As it starts to get dark, you start seeing them putting on their bandanas. This is before COVID. They would put on their bandanas. They would be in unmarked clothing. They would go find a trash can and pull it out. And as it's getting dark, they would light it on fire. You would see them with hammers, and they would be not all black, but there'd be some black ones in there.
Yeah.
They're anarchists. These are black folks who have been co-opted by white supremacy, who have been co-opted by the far-right Republicans, who have been co-opted by the pro-life movement, some factions of the pro-life movement, and they go out and wreak havoc, and then they tear into these stores in the black community, and what do the residents do? They run in the stores and grab as many belts, run into the store and grab as many of this, that, and the third, and it's a riot. Who gets blamed, Donna?
The black people get blamed.
The black people get blamed, but who did it? Special interest.
White anarchists. Yeah.
The anarchists did it. And so now you have so now you got white people who live outside the skirts of the city talking about, look at what the black people are doing to their own community. No. But what makes a black person who didn't need a belt run into a store to get a belt simply because somebody else opened the door and told them to steal? That mindset, Donna, concerns me.
Yeah.
It concerns me because I feel it is possible that this curriculum is really an opportunity for another group or groups to benefit on the backs of black people. Black people will fight if they believe it's an injustice, and special interest groups have learned how to create what appears to be injustice to cause us to fight. And we fight against our own interests. And that concerns me. That concerns me, Donna. I'm sorry. And if I sound emotional about it, it concerns me that as a people group, we can be tricked. We can be hoodwinked.
Here's the other thing. We can't have the conversation among ourselves without taking the stance that, they don't use Uncle Tom anymore, but, that now there you are over there on their side, versus because we got to be united in the front so you can't say, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense right here, because now you're labeled as you don't get it. You're not woke.
Black Lives Movement did a couple of protests. Those protests were necessary. Now, again, I don't rock Black Lives Movement as an organization. I don't know where they come from. I don't know. They have not been vetted. I don't know who's financially backing them. I don't know their ultimate agenda. I do know that they tend to be very LGBT leaning. Okay. And I'm not even mad at that, because we got a lot of people in the African-American community who are LGBTQ.
Right.
However, when they're protesting in the streets, you mean to tell me they dropped off bricks on the pathway? They dropped off loose bricks at night on the pathway. You mean to tell me that when black people are fighting for no justice, no peace, and F the police, you mean to tell me that the Molotov cocktails, you mean to tell me black folks are going to the gas station and pumping gas in soda bottles and rags and lighting them on fire and throwing them at the police? No. That's not what's happening. But yet, in every situation where black people are trying to stand up for themselves, there's a special interest group who comes in the movement.
Yeah.
And if we're not conscious of that by now, we might be sacrificing our kids by trying to add an AP African American Studies course that isn't really for our kids. It's really about programming our kids for special interest groups who care really nothing about our existence. That's just real talk.
Movement. Yeah. So
what is it exactly? When somebody says, I'm for it, Dion, well, then what is it? Show me the curriculum. How do you have a curriculum that's supposed to be taking place in 60 other places? Florida has rejected it, but in other places, it's taking place. Where is the curriculum? What are they teaching? Who's teaching it? Who was qualified to teach it? What school did they go to get the education necessary to teach this to public school or private school kids? Well, mostly public school.
Right.
I'm just asking the questions that may be difficult to ask. And I
Maybe it's
hate if I
questions we
sound
need
like
to ask.
Candace Owens. I'm not. I hate if I sound like I've lost my mind like Kanye West. But maybe Candace Owens ain't as crazy on everything as we think. And maybe Kanye West isn't as crazy on everything as we think. Maybe special interest groups are trying to get us away from them because maybe we might actually wake wide up on some points, even if we don't agree with them on every point. Go to break.
My life was torn beyond repair. I felt so alone, see no one cared. You came along, gave me a song to ease the pain and erase the strain. You with no one, but you promised me you did. Against all odds, I made the choice to give you my trust. Now I rejoice. You answered my prayer, not a moment too soon. The word I embrace, my sins you erase. You could have left me, Lord, with no one to care. You promised me you'd be there on time. Oh, and you did just what you said. I gave it up. That's when you blessed me. Oh, I let it go. That's when you blessed me. Oh, you brought me through. Now I'm brand new. I said, have your way. That's when you blessed me. That's when you blessed me. Oh, you promised me you would hear my plea and you did just what you said. Against all odds, I made the choice to give you my trust. Now I rejoice. You answered my prayer. Not a moment too
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Travis Scott, Tucker, hey.
East After Dark, Donna Williams, Deion Evans. Donna, we gotta get ready to prepare ourselves to take the broadcast on the road.
Take it on the road?
Yeah, I'm thinking about there's a coffee shop, new black-owned coffee shop in Oakland.
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
It's right across from the EOYDC? Is that youth development place they have right there?
82nd? Off of 82nd?
I think that's in the
that
neighborhood.
area?
Yeah. It was where that old Walgreens that they just shut down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So right across the street from there is a coffee shop called Jazzy Grounds.
Oh, okay.
And the lady who owns it, I know her husband, I know her son. I'm hoping her son gets to go to school with my son because they were friends in middle school ages. And Seth's just a year older than him. I'm hoping they get to go to school together because I believe they'll be really good for one another at the high school level because they're really respectable and responsible young men. They'll hold each other accountable for greatness. But I'm thinking it would be nice to do in Issues After Dark at a spot like that. Have some of our, have Gabby and Nina and Charmin, our peeps. Had the
Are they open that late? Are they open that late?
We probably couldn't do it Monday through Friday.
So it would have to be a special.
Well, we could probably do like a Saturday morning session that we could record and we air it later and things of that nature. We could do a Saturday session and record it and, maybe make it a Friday, air it that following Friday. Here was the live, what we did and things of that nature.
Right.
But it would just be nice to sit and have coffee and conversation and some cookies, the kind of, the creature stuff that they have at a coffee shop.
Yes.
While supporting one of our own.
Exactly. Taking it on the road.
Charmy Robinson says that's down the street from my house.
Oh.
Yeah, stop in. Jazzy Grounds Coffee. We gotta start crafting commercials for, we gotta raise funds and things of that nature. We will hopefully next week, we will be able to start sharing some of our apparel. Bitter Cup Media apparel and Issues After Dark stuff. Yeah, some merchandise.
You got merch. All right. That's what I'm talking about.
Can't wait.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
So getting back to this AP African American history. I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And my concern is simple. What's in it? I want to know what's in it so I can say yay or nay, but I'm not going to allow my belief concerning DeSantis to make me determine if I'm going to support it. I'm not going to support nothing blind.
Right.
And I think in the Black community, we support too much blind because of our emotion. And then that's why we get upset, because we allow the emotion to take away from the facts. And I bring that up. Remember when George Zimmerman went to trial for Trayvon Martin? And all of the things that we were being told was, first degree. And everybody wants first degree murder because they want George Zimmerman to get the death penalty. He deserves the death penalty for what he did to Trayvon Martin. Okay, I hear you.
Right. Yeah.
But the law doesn't work like that. First degree murder requires proof from the district attorney that he went out with the express purpose of the intent of killing this boy.
Right.
And the mere fact he got his butt kicked lets us know he did not intend on killing him. Yeah. But now the question is, well, Dion, are you saying that he should be found innocent of first degree? Yes. Yes, and I know that's a hard pill to swallow. So are you saying he shouldn't have to go to jail for what he did? No.
No.
What I'm saying is you can't get the death penalty because we cannot prove first degree, but we could have got 15 to 25 if we just went for second degree. Hell, we could have got 8 to 10 if we just went for manslaughter. He is the reason why Trayvon is dead. Yeah. He is the one who brought the gun out in the rain. He deserves to be in jail today. But when you let the DA system, when you let them gaslight you into, because what was the Black community do? We want to press the DA. We want first degree. We want first degree. We want first degree. What did the DA say? All right, give them what they want. we gonna charge George Zimmerman with first-degree murder in the death of Trayvon Martin, and everybody was all jubilant. Oh, we gonna get him now. This white boy gonna pay for what he did to our young black king. We gonna get him now. Well, anybody who knows the law knows there's no way, unless he wrote something on social media that says, I'm gonna go out and kill me and end today. Unless he sent a message to somebody, and it didn't help. Remember CBS? There's another thing. Remember, I think it was CBS. Some news station aired an audio of George Zimmerman talking, I guess, to the police. And underneath his breath, George Zimmerman was supposed to have said, this effing N. And news medias took that soundbite and aired it. So now everybody's really gaslighted.
Right.
It never happened. George Zimmerman never said that. And then whatever company released that had to not only apologize to him, but they had to settle, because that's defamation of character. That audio leak, which was an altered piece, it created a more national firestorm for that man. Again, should he be in jail? Absolutely. Yeah. Was there ever going to be a conviction of first-degree murder that would give him the death penalty? Absolutely not. But special interest groups gaslighted the black community, got us all excited about something that anybody paying attention knew wasn't going to happen. So when our community's been gaslighted so much, I gotta ask myself, are we being gaslit again? If you want us to support this curriculum, lay it out there. Let us see it.
Let us know what you're teaching.
Or why are you drumming up our support? Why are you asking us to get involved while hiding from us what the curriculum is? Don't give us the headline name, and don't give us the guts of the curriculum. I need the guts. Your final comments, Donna?
You know, as a baby boomer, Dion, I find it interesting, the conversations that swirl around African-American history, Black history in America, not only outside of the community, but within the community. We cannot even come to agreement as to what we should be teaching in our classrooms to all students, not just the Black students, but what is the truth we want known in our classrooms for our students, so that they are equipped to critically process next steps. That's not happening. What we have, I've looked at some comments on Twitter, we're taking shots at each other, we're defaming one another, we're calling each other this, that, and the other, without having a real conversation about the heart of the matter. What does this look like? It troubles me. It troubles me.
More, Donna. We'll talk about it more.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get a lot of conversation. I'm sure somebody's going to see this and they're going to take it the wrong way because they are special interests, or they blinded by special interests. Again, I'll say it again. My final comment. I am for AP African American Studies. I'd rather just call it Black Studies. I don't even need to be AP. It can just be a regular elective course.
Yeah.
But before I endorse it, I need to know what's in the curriculum. Straight up. I need to know what you're going to teach the babies, because we don't need no foolishness. Not for the babies. You've been listening to Issues After Dark. Donna Williams, Dion Evans. Tomorrow's Bible study night. Get ready for it. We're going to have a good one. Good night, and God bless.
You have been listening to Issues After Dark with Donna Williams and Dion Evans. Follow updates regarding Issues After Dark on Bitter Cup Media. Follow Bitter Cup Media on your favorite social media platform. Listen live each night, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Join the conversations and please ensure your support. Donations to support this broadcast can be sent to Cash App, Venmo, or Zelle at Bitter Cup Media. And as our hosts would say, good night and God bless you.
are listening to the Bitter Cup Media, where inspired, controversial conversations matter.
Thank you for tuning in to Bitter Cup Media for your broadcast needs. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Search Bitter Cup Media. Tell a friend, coworker, or family member to join you in listening to our cutting-edge radio broadcast. Remember this, even if our hearts condemn us, God is greater than our hearts, and He knows all things. Bitter Cup Media, signing off.
Clap your hands, everybody. Praise Him because you're still standing. Praise Him because you're still here. Praise Him because all things work together. Hey, y'all clap your hands. Let's celebrate. Let's dance in here. Come on. Oh. Oh. Let's go, come on. Let's go, come on. Let's go, come on. Let's go, come on. You're not jumping. You're not praising. Oh. Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!